You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Folks, listen up. Smirnoff knows there's no I in football. Football's a we thing, an experience that is best joined together with good drinks and good folks. Smirnoff is the world's #1 vodka and is the official vodka partner of the NFL. And this year, there are more opportunities to watch football and make delicious Smirnoff cocktails than ever before over the holiday season. From Thanksgiving to Black Friday and Christmas, Smirnoff and the NFL are with you every step of the way. So this holiday season, when you're enjoying the game and your cocktails, please make sure you drink responsibly. Take a minute, make a plan, never drive impaired. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly. Smirnoff, #21 vodka, distilled from grain, 40% alcohol by volume. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Please do not share with anyone under legal drinking age.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. If you're a smoker or dipper looking to make a change, you really only need one reason to do it. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you can find many. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch. It's made with only 6 simple ingredients. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction, but there's only one Zyn. Learn more about Zyn and find your reason to make a change by registering online at Zyn.com.
Shadow Show.
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 Shadowing it.
Shadowing it.
Greg, I'm delighted by this new development of you being in here more days than one. And I wanted to talk to you because they were complaining about the Shadow Show the other day, not knowing what it was.
Why would anybody complain? Like, they don't get to see what that sound is actually being made by right now?
Right, no, but it's because I'm coming in, and the idea is we don't know we're on the air, so I'm getting lint brushed right now, as I do 10 minutes before we start, because this is meant to be something that we don't know we're on the air. We're just trickling in, we're just coming into work, and we're talking to just our YouTube friends before we've started. We're not presently prepared to do the show. We're just sitting around talking, and so I was delighted when I saw Greg today.
Is that suede?
I don't know.
It's not cold enough for suede.
I am in the portion of my year where my wife starts buying anniversary and Christmas gifts and birthday
Happy
gifts.
anniversary, by the way, Dan.
My wardrobe gets improved.
5 years. Wow. Congrats to you
That's
and
a big
Valerie.
one. Not a lot of people wearing suede anymore.
Especially down in South
Let's bring
Florida.
it back.
There are some things in our life that we figured it out in like the 90s and we haven't needed to improve it. The lint roller. I mean, I'm sure, when did we come up with the lint roller as it is now? There's no improvements. There's no technological advances. It's just a lint roller, and it still crushes like it did in the 90s.
Plus, there's not a speck of lint on that Nehru jacket.
Well, that's the thing. One of the things that's happening right here, thank you. One of the things that's happening right here is because the jacket is so freshly out of the case, it doesn't have a dollop of lint on it. Everything in my house has cat hair on it. Everything in my house.
I can relate.
I can't leave my house without cat hair being on something. But this has never been worn before because I just got it for my anniversary. Mike, you're the only one around here that does those things up in the most romantic fashion, right? Like, I haven't heard other people around here get like really, symbolically, romantically attached to anniversaries.
I don't think I'm near your level, pal. No, I think that you take the cake on that one, and that's not. I'm not saying that to shade you. You make everybody else look bad by comparison. You've got a very public, wonderful love story.
Wow. Like, what have you done for your 5th anniversary?
What does he know that I've done?
I know.
I'm confused by what it is that he's reacting
look,
to.
You're
It's
a very
not like
emotional
I do this
guy.
publicly.
You're emotional on a Monday after a Dolphins game. Like, you'll find platitudes in those things. I mean, a 5-year anniversary, I can't even imagine the letter you wrote for Valerie. God.
It wasn't letters. It was a scavenger hunt. Platitudes?
Scavenger hunt.
Scavenger hunt?
Yeah, I've never done a scavenger hunt, ever.
Platitudes?
Wow. Was it naughty?
A naughty scavenger.
Yeah,
Yeah, what
I'm
was at the
picturing
end of it?
Yeah, baby.
Dan on the pool table.
Your dick. What?
It was a naughty scavenger hunt, wasn't it?
It was not a naughty scavenger hunt. Look, thinking of you.
Baby.
The 5-year anniversary gift is wood.
Yeah, what's under that?
It's not Uncle Dick.
Come on,
Is
man.
it really wood?
Is it?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's great.
Jessica is beaming again because her Steelers are winning in maximum Steeler ways to be able to strangle the Ravens. How much press conference did you soak in last night?
I snorted the whole thing in one shot.
How excited were you to see 6 field goals defeat the Ravens? Man, this one's funny. Beating the Ravens 8 out of 9 times, and all of a sudden Justin Tucker shows you, the margin for winning is if when your kicker's the greatest, you have 2 losses a season. And when he's bottom of the league, you have 4, and nobody understands how you have 4 losses.
They had no idea how good they had it. None. No Ravens fan that I knew. He's the greatest of all time, but he was such a game changer. Late game situations changes the entire dynamic when you realize, I only need 25 yards here on this drive. It was such an unprecedented weapon, and now that he's kind of mid-tier, he's no longer the most accurate kicker in NFL history.
It's not. No, it's not mid-tier. He's now bottom of the league. Like, missing 2 yesterday makes him one of the worst kickers in the league, and the margin for error there is such that the Jets were using their 4th kicker in 4 weeks. Like, if you're not above 80%, they'll run you out, and he right now is in like the low 70s.
I'm confused as to what's happening with the kicking game, because there was a time that I would have told you a couple of years ago the 2 greatest kickers that I'd ever seen in my entire life were Justin Tucker and Evan McPherson, and they can't buy a meaningful make right now.
I will tell you that watching Tucker and seeing the Ravens have 4 losses, when I'm like, no, that's one of the best teams in the league. Like, I know that's one of the best teams in the league. I don't think that they should have 4 losses. And it made me appreciate, in retrospect, Vinatieri and how different it would have or could have all been for the Patriots if they, too, hadn't had one of those machines that, like, changed. If the games are being decided by 3 points, 5 points, and you're surprised, that once every 2 months what happens to the Jags happens in that sport. Like, usually the games are pretty close. I don't know how we slept for so long on the idea that they had a field goal kicker that sort of tilted everything toward them being 15-2 or 13-4, as opposed to they've already got 4 losses. And you're like, well, in all of the victories, all of the games are close, and they could have won all of them, and they would have won yesterday's if their field goal kicker makes a couple of kicks.
I think that fans of division rivals of the Ravens are keenly aware from watching those games and knowing it's like sending Steph Curry to the free throw line. When you have Lamar Jackson, who can escape almost all sorts of pressure, and you have a guy that routinely would make 58-yard field goals. It was a crazy weapon that they had, and the NFL in that conference especially, but it seems really wide open. When you're trying to evaluate if the Ravens can come out of that conference, this whole new world of Justin Tucker, where now the most accurate kicker in NFL history is Eddie Pinheiro and not Justin Tucker, it's a whole new world for them.
So, Chris, what's happening here is that you see, on Monday we come in and you got to get some of the air out of the tires. Everybody's got a lot. We haven't been on for a couple of days. We just saw Mike Tyson's ass. Like, everyone's revving, and now Greg Cote's here. Like, Stugotz and Billy are about to bomb in. They do the God Bless Football. They're first to market. They get out here, and they do it as fast as they can to get God Bless Football in their takes, and they're going to thunder in here in a second. But this show is supposed to be us just trickling into work, not a Ravens-Steelers conversation suddenly breaking out, because that's not how we talk when we're just trickling into work.
Well, let's just redo this conversation after the show starts then, because I can definitely do that. I can talk about this all day, Dan.
But I don't want to redo it. I want to do it better. The show started as far as I'm concerned. Like, here, Billy's coming in now. Mike's got to move seats. Greg Cote is in on a Monday. When did this change? Because Monday, usually, we don't need very much help. We're just galloping along because football Mondays, it gets crowded in here, even if it's just 3 of us.
Yeah, I got a text from your executive committee. I think it was Sunday, saying, hey, can you do Monday and Tuesday? And normally I'm accustomed to Tuesday only. This Monday I could do because I'm going straight from the studio to a Marlins press conference at 3 p.m., so the timing of it worked out great. Happy to be here.
So we were on your way to work. You wear a nicer shirt for a Marlins press conference than you do for your appearances here.
Well, I'm having a bad arm week. You know, I am. I'm having a bad arm week. I don't even want to show you the evidence of it, but just trust me.
Bruises?
Bruises implies my wife is beating me again. No, They're not bruises. They're just like old age.
Yeah, when does that happen?
Blotches.
It's starting to happen to my dad too, where he's like avoiding my dog at all costs because
Jumpin' Charlie caused this. Jumpin' Charlie jumped on me and he touched his giant claw, like a pterodactyl claw, on my arm.
Okay, wait a minute. So you bruise easily, is
Yes,
what it is.
right.
So what we're talking about is you are coming in here scarred and marred by your dog.
Yeah, I bruise easily. I also hurt easily, Dan. I hurt easily. And I bruise easily. You know, I'm full of emotion. The older I get, I'm full of emotion for the good and the bad. And I'm having a bad arm week, so I look more dressed up than I am.
Well, you're just wearing a long sleeve shirt, which isn't normally what you do around here. You
Right.
look nicer for your Marlins press conference
Yeah, I'm already sweating.
than you ever look when you come in here dressed, you know.
Thank you.
Well, am I wrong?
No, I used to wear T-shirts in here, and now I'm getting all dressed up. You're wearing a suede Nehru jacket. I feel the pressure to dress up a little bit. You know, it's not just the press conference, it's the bad arm week. And from now on, you're going to see me. I'm going to start wearing suits, tuxedos, top hats. You know, it's going to be a new me.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Today's episode is sponsored by DraftKings. Stay tuned because you'll hear more about DraftKings and all it has to offer throughout the show. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Stugotz, I'm in the awkward position here of I kind of want to mutiny against my own company because of some of the things that are befalling us.
I'm in.
Okay, so you ride with me no matter what. Mutiny against the company, because I come in here today and I'm like, can you guys get me that photo of Mike Tyson's ass? And then a conversation breaks out and a meeting breaks out and everybody's talking about, well, you know, we got sponsors and we're in a contract year and it's not worth it to put an old man's ass on the screen. You're just making the same joke everybody else is making. But that's not the reason that I'm mutiny is where I'm headed against the company.
Okay.
The place that I have to side with Cote is our COO has written me an email in which he says, look at how Cote invoices the company. And Cote invoices the company by just sending an email saying, you owe me this.
Works for me.
Yes.
And so our COO is like, no, we've got a computerized system. We've got a system of expenses. You've got to invoice somebody technologically correctly. It's not just sending someone an email.
What they have is a system that prevents employees from entering an invoice. That's what it makes it more difficult.
And so I have to side on the laziness and the technological ineptness of my two friends here and be like, you know what? I don't want to live in a time where I can't just fire off an email and that passes for an invoice. That's how America should be. Stop with your crypto coin. Stop with your bookkeeping. Stop with your DocuSigns. Just allow me to send you an email saying this is what you owe me, and then send me my money, because that's written proof that I have in my voice sent you a note that you owe me money, and I'm with Cote on this.
I mean, I specifically said on the email, this is an invoice. I typed those words, and then I said...
That was nice of you.
Yeah, you owe me such and such for this date to this date, the last 3 quarters, blah, blah, blah. This will... I might have even said, this will serve as an official invoice. I might have said that to make it no doubt about it.
To make it official.
Yeah, and what he can do is he can copy and paste that and put it wherever it needs to be put.
Yeah, on a refrigerator. I'm sure that's how we're doing it these days. Copy and paste it and put it wherever it needs to be put.
Right. Thank you.
I will get to the football of the weekend in a moment. But, Jessica, you invoice the company and it's all computerized, right? You are not hurting the way that Cote is when he's sending an email and not getting his money on time.
What do you mean by computerized?
Yeah. Clear that one up for me.
Yeah.
I'm saying that you log on JustWorks, and you send through expenses how it is that you arrive at getting reimbursed for stuff.
I think it's Ramp.
That one's a Ram.
Yeah, JustWorks is like our HR platform. And I'm a W-2 employee here, so I don't have to invoice Meadowlark. But Greg is not. I think he's probably 1099. So he would have to send an invoice probably to the accounting email address, which I almost just said out loud, but I decided to censor.
1099 is age.
I'm working my way up to 1,100. What do I have to do to get a promotion to 1,100?
The year he was born.
He's old.
Age, humor.
Bad arm week.
Well, I mean, that's the truth. You don't want to see these limbs.
Can we see it? Can we see it? Do you mind explaining to us? Hold on. Let's go through this. Hold on. So in the Shadow Show, we were talking about Greg Cote looking nicer today, more dressed up because he's going to a Marlins game here. Marlins press conference in a little bit. What's the name of their new manager?
You could ask me forever. I would never know that.
Damn it. Hang on just a second.
I saw Skip went to the Rangers, right? Is that?
Yeah.
Man, I like that guy.
Clayton
Really?
McCullough.
Clayton. Yeah.
I haven't been this embarrassed since I missed up Diana Rossini's name.
In fairness, he hasn't been introduced yet, so.
Thank you.
Right.
So I haven't been introduced to him. Why would I know his name?
Yep.
Clayton McCullough.
When you
It's a good
Google
baseball
Marlins
name.
manager, it says Skip Schumacher still.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
Well, he
also
hasn't been introduced
confusing.
yet.
You
Yeah.
can't trust the internet.
Right.
Point.
Introduce yourself. I mean,
I will.
I'm talking about him.
I will not do any better on the state of the Marlins than the longtime legendary sports columnist on the way to the press conference for their manager introduction. When asked, what's his name, looks through a bunch of papers and finally finds the name.
Yeah.
And it is correct to say, well, he hasn't been introduced
Right.
yet.
I got a lot on my mind.
You have done... this is not about where the manager resides in the culture of baseball, right? This is specifically about the Marlins. It's not just that everyone listening to this now understands that a manager's not going to come in and do much of anything for a team in the state of the Marlins.
Right.
But this is a reflection not of the industry and of Greg Cote's ignorance. It's that everyone knows, yeah, whatever, get a Rays guy to get a Dodger guy and see if you guys can figure it out while they lose for 10 years and see if they can get all the Astros draft picks. But it's not like that person's not, Billy, you know, you're the only one here who knows that person's name. Greg just said it and I just forgot it.
Yeah, well, he hasn't been introduced yet. He'll be introduced to him today.
It's true.
Time will tell.
I mean, let's be honest. The Marlins don't matter in their own market. They're the fifth team down here. You know, when Lionel Messi leaves, they might inch up to the fourth if they're lucky. They're a team that can't even guarantee a sellout on opening day. They don't matter right now. And therefore, the new manager, by extension, doesn't matter until he does. So, you know, that's the state of the Marlins. Now, that's on me a little bit. I had forgotten the name. Obviously, I knew his name, but I wanted to give myself a reminder.
His name should be Dodgers guy, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Billy, time will tell as an analysis on this.
Undefeated.
It works in general as a universal life truth. Not particularly helpful in the sports discussion conversation. Time will tell is not the analysis that anyone gives on any hire. You have to have an opinion of some sort on what that hire is. We all had a lot of Aaron Rodgers opinions. Now he's got a lower winning percentage than Zach Wilson and Sam Darnold had with the Jets. We had a lot of opinions on Aaron Rodgers and cataclysmic, like never mind not meeting expectations. Worse than anyone could have imagined, correct?
Yes, I would say so. Based on the expectations and the market.
I don't know, Jim. Two of us back here certainly imagined it. And tried to warn you.
Ooh, victory lap?
Wow.
I think you guys should go do that. Go ahead and do that. Both
victory
of you,
lap?
yeah, victory lap
It's
on
early,
Aaron
man.
Rodgers.
Yeah.
Let's get both of you go to the room and get a victory lap
I'm in
going.
platform shoes.
And I'm going to platform you. I'm going to platform you.
Well, you're deplatforming her at the moment.
No, I'm putting her on a different platform where she can go after Aaron Rodgers, who she wants deplatformed.
Cardio is not really part of my routine right now.
Understood. I'd like to go to the both of you in the other room taking a victory lap.
Asking a lot.
Why not outside?
Yeah.
A lap around the block.
As we talk about the Dolphins today.
Back in the mix.
I tried to tell you all. In fact, I even had the score correct, I think, in my picks. I think I picked 31-17. I was right on the mark. I knew they would score points against this defense. Tua's been really good. He threw for almost 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. And his performance said to Antonio Pierce, "Hey, Coach Badinsky, this is why I'm still playing." You'll recall in September it was Antonio Pierce who unsolicited broke an unwritten rule by butting into another franchise's business and said, if I were to, I'd tell him to retire. It's not worth it. This is why he's playing to kick your ass, Antonio Pierce.
All right, Greg, you got the score wrong.
34-19.
That's not close enough for you.
It is close enough, but nobody would have known that you picked the score if you hadn't bragged that you got it exactly right. And when we looked it up, you didn't get it exactly right. You were wrong. And so, yes, but you're bringing it up just to point out that you got it exactly right. And yes, it is close enough, but the idea that you would need to tell us that you got it exactly right, as if that's a skill of yours.
It is a skill.
As if you think you can do that.
Yeah, it's a skill.
You don't possess it.
It's a skill of mine because I pay attention to over-unders, which are usually pretty accurate. And
the over-under in that one was 43.5.
Okay, well, then I was even more right than I thought I was by predicting the over.
Bingo.
Yeah, double thank you.
Yeah.
Billy, what is happening here?
I don't know.
With Greg Cote. Greg, you think you have the skill to pick games correctly? You've picked every game for the last 20 years in the newspaper.
Yeah.
Every time you pick it correctly, you tell me, and it's about 4 times in the last 20 years.
You mean the exacto? I mean, that's
exactos.
That's difficult to get an exacto.
That's tricky.
Yeah, like if a game is 21-17 and I'll pick 21-17, I'm going to brag about it. But if I pick 20-16, I'm going to brag about that too. You're welcome.
We have some people around here who are doing well with their picks, although, Stugotz, you've been accused of something here, and I'd like Billy to be able to tell me one way or the other.
Yeah.
There is an accusation that has been filed against you by a listener, and I believe the accusation, but I don't know if it's true or not, saying that Stu is stating his record on the year, which is really good, but he's adjusting the line on just about every bet, so it's more advantageous to him.
That's not true. First off, I buy half points. I buy hooks all the time. I tell the audience when I'm buying the hook and that you should buy the hook. Whether you do it or not is up to you. Now, I will say this. I record those picks usually on Thursday, and the games don't, they're not played until Sunday. So if the line changes, but I have to get them done by Thursday. Those are the rules. And so right now, I'm just telling you.
You guys are all doing very well.
Yeah, I think I had another 4-2 week. In the NFL, I have 49, 29, and 2. That is a good year.
That's really
it is.
good.
Yeah.
And Greg Cody's record is very good, and Billy's record is very good as well. Correct, Billy? Because you care about this. Both of these guys are a little, they're degrees of flippant with these picks. I would say that Stu puts the least into them. I'm saying that Greg puts more into his picks than Stu does into his.
No doubt. With Billy's not a massive gambler. I like to gamble on all these games. Billy does not want to lose our audience money.
Yeah,
period.
I do feel a lot of pressure to get them right, which I shouldn't. I'm 29-14 on the year.
Okay,
that's real good.
But he takes it very seriously, same way that Juju does, because it hurts him to cost the audience Monday. He doesn't want the responsibility. He didn't ask for this?
Correct.
Any of this? He didn't want the responsibility.
Well, I created it for myself, so I kind of did, but I don't like the pressure that comes with it. Also, I will say this, because this is a thing that I get hit with because people get mad at me because they take my 3 picks and they turn it into a parlay. So I'll do 2-1, and they're like, "You idiot, you lost." And I'm like, I didn't. 2-1, that's a win. You guys, I didn't tell you to make it a parlay. These are individual bets. Now, if you make it a parlay, obviously it'll increase the odds there. You'll win a lot more money if all 3 hit. But I've been doing a good job of doing 2-1 almost every single. I think I have 1 losing week the entire season. So like 600 every single week. But like if you parlay it, you'd lose almost every single week.
I am laughing at the visual of Jessica and Mike in the other room getting ready to take a victory lap on Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, they're running backwards.
Hey, is this Central Park? I know what this place is. It's a place that hasn't seen a 300-yard passer since maybe COVID. It's kind of weird that the only MAGA-adjacent personality to catch an L this month has been Aaron Rodgers routinely. Damn shame he didn't make it to that rally at the UFC card on Saturday, but either way, we told you so! And it's going to be great when Rob Saleh lifts Lombardi.
Rob Saleh.
I thought you fixed it. Who would have known? Bringing in Devontae Adams and Rob Saleh didn't work.
You mean that didn't fix the entire Jets organization? That's crazy. You mean the quarterback that was already kind of old and falling off a cliff with his production didn't magically get better after tearing his Achilles after 4 plays last year? I'm running out of breath here.
What's so weird is this stuff always typically works out for the Jets.
Oh, the dog's not even running. That's
What is
weirder.
Willow doing? Is Willow on skates?
We got a wild dog, Feral. Like Jack Nicholson. It's like Jack Nicholson and Wolf. Remember
so
how
amazing.
excited Greeny and Stugotz were after they traded for Devontae Adams? The Bills are good in that division, huh? See you guys.
Okay, good seeing you, Mike.
All right, guys, these seasons are changing. You know what that means? Time to layer it up a little bit, change the wardrobe. In Miami, a little bit of a different story, but across the country when I'm traveling, I'm getting those layers in when it's just effortless and comfortable and looks good. Rhone's commuter collection combines comfort, versatility, and breathability, massive in Miami, featuring premium pants, shirts, quarter zips, polos, and blazers. Each piece is made from Rhone's signature stretch fabrics with wrinkle release and anti-odor technology, keeping you fresh and polished all day. Enjoy more wears between washes. Building mental fitness is vital to everyone's success, on and off the court. That's why Rhone is proud to partner with NBA 5-time All-Star Kevin Love and the Kevin Love Foundation. Together, they're opening up discussions and enabling action around mind health. Head to Rhone.com/DLS and use promo code DLS to save 20% off your entire order. That's a 20% off your entire order when you head to Rhone, RHONE.com/DLS and use code DLS. It's time to embody your most confident self.
Stugotz here for my friends over at Simply Safe. The holiday season is right around the corner. That means you're away more, and burglars know it. That means you need to protect your home. Right now, Simply Safe is giving exclusive early access to its Black Friday sale to Batard Show listeners. Simply Safe is the home security I trust to keep my home and family safe. Simply Safe is a new way to protect your home that stops intruders before they break into your home. Old school systems only take action once someone is already inside your home. That's too late. Simply Safe's Active Guard outdoor protection changes the game by preventing crime before it even happens. If someone's lurking around or acting suspiciously, those agents see them in real time, talk to them directly, set off your spotlight, and even call the police before they've had a chance to break in. Simply Safe is offering my listeners exclusive early access to their Black Friday sale. This week only, you can take 60% off any new system with a select professional monitoring plan. This is their best offer of the year. Head to simplysafe.com/DLB to claim your discount and make sure your home is safe this holiday season. Don't wait. This offer won't last long. Keep your home, your family, and your peace of mind protected with Simply Safe. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Hey, podcasters, it's Mike Ryan, and let me tell you something. The NBA's got a lot going for it right now. Bright young stars hitting the court, teams playing exciting brands of basketball, and celebrities everywhere you look courtside. It's no wonder why tickets are in demand. Let me tell you about my favorite on the secondary ticket marketplace, and that is Game Time, and their amazing new feature called Game Time Picks. It makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. With Game Time Picks, it helps make curation easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and whatever else tickles your fancy. Also, they've got all-in pricing. This feature is huge. Push of a button, you get no surprises at checkout, you know exactly what to budget for. You get panoramic seat views, and of course, Game Time's lowest price guarantee, where Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference if you find a better price out there. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code DAN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's Game Time.
Dan Batard.
All right, we got to go back out there. That was big. Wake him up.
Uh-oh. He doesn't want to be bothered anymore. Now it's getting tense because he didn't need that as a result. He needs something that happens.
You can see him mother effing on it.
He says,
can we bother? Yes. Are we bothering you right now?
Turn on your microphone, Greg.
My microphone's on.
Stugotz.
Paint the scene.
Paint the scene is I got to go to work. Good night.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Do me the favor, Chris. I meant to tell you guys, but we were too busy farting around on the Shadow Show. Can you just get Stugotz's operatic song about the Jets from our musical? Because the Jets thing that happened yesterday, Stugotz.
Yeah.
I only do this in the context of what was happening elsewhere in the league, in the place where the best teams are playing, in the game that mattered the most yesterday, where the Bills beat the Chiefs again.
Yep.
And the Chiefs' unbeaten season. But the way they do it, Stugotz, all of these close games, all of these games that Patrick Mahomes has been winning one-score games and at the end has the reputation now that used to be only Brady's, don't leave him any time. He's going to take everything from you. On 4th and 2 with the football, the Bills did the thing nobody does, and your Jets didn't do it yesterday, and it cost them the game.
Yep.
4th and 2 with the ball. No, our guy has the ball. You should be afraid to stop him. Our guy has the ball. I like our chances of ending your guy's ability to come right back down the field. A lot of coaches kick the field goal there. Sirianni doesn't. And in this case, they ran with Josh Allen. He runs 26 yards. He's going through your secondary like a centaur.
Crazy.
Like he's making five hugely athletic guys either miss or fall off him. And your Jets lost yesterday because on 4th and 2, they kicked the field goal, and then Anthony Richardson went all the way down the field. Do you realize that 4th and 2 play, if they don't get it, we would have been saying, here comes Mahomes. He's going to win the entire game.
If they kick the field goal, we're going to say, here comes Mahomes. He's going to score a touchdown. So Josh Allen is going down the field. You could see them processing the time, the clock, the timeouts. One of two things needs to happen. We need to score a touchdown so Mahomes can't go down the field and beat us because the math doesn't work out that way, or we have to kill the clock. And so that was a gutsy call. Josh Allen made a great play. He won the MVP on that play, and it was a great game. It lived up to the hype. It was a crazy game.
Did he win the MVP? Lamar Jackson yesterday lost exactly the way that people are expecting him to lose in the playoffs. I don't know if you saw this. I've got to look up this because Derrick Henry, seeing him fumble was confusing to me yesterday because I'm so used to not only is that guy never hit hard by anybody, he does all the hitting. I think it was like a 538 touches. It might have been 580-something touches since he had a fumble. And at the end of that game, they just come out and take the football from him. So maybe Lamar Jackson lost the MVP yesterday. But I want to talk about how many coaches in that sport do what the Bills did with Josh Allen. I remember, you guys remember years ago, Bill Belichick on 4th and short, when no one was going for it on 4th and short, had Tom Brady against Peyton Manning, and he went for it and he failed, and everyone crushed Bill Belichick for making the call.
Yep.
Now everybody goes for it on 4th down in their own territory. Tomlin did it a couple times again yesterday. Like, nobody's afraid of 4th down. Dan Campbell doesn't care about 4th and 5. But how many coaches in the spot where you're going to get blamed for the decision in that league do what they did in that spot, 4th and 2? No, Mahomes, I believe in my guy's ability to keep you off the field for the rest of the game. You're not going to do that here to us. I believe in my guy, and then my guy doesn't even bother to throw the ball because if you don't trust him there, that's fine. He runs all 26 yards because he's galloping through your secondary like a stallion, like a Clydesdale.
He's the size of a linebacker, and when he's running, he's actually difficult to stop, unlike most quarterbacks. I don't think Stugotz is wrong when he says, if you're looking at one play that turns the MVP race,
yes,
it might well have been that one. And it makes you miss having a running quarterback. If you're a Dolphins fan and the crowd gasps every time it looks like Tua might run, it really makes you miss that. If I'm a defensive coordinator, the first thing I'm wondering about the other team is, can that quarterback beat me running on 3rd and 8? And man, the Bills are that.
That was Derrick Henry's first fumble since 2022.
I think it's his first fumble loss because he fumbled the ball a couple of weeks ago, but he didn't lose the fumble.
That's crazy.
But, Dan, you ask how many teams go for it in that spot. There are not many teams that have that quarterback, and that's a big difference. Like, confidence in that quarterback is easy to have.
I think that spot and people going for it, it's more and more routine. What isn't routine is what Buffalo does with 4th and 2, which is everybody on the opposing sideline, everyone watching at the bar, every Bills fan there at Ralph Wilson knows what this play is going to be. It's never leaving Josh Allen's hands. we're not calling a play. We're calling a player.
The Ravens have been doing that for several seasons.
Yeah, and they tried it again, and they ran to his offside, which was a little weird. But it's the same exact
supposed
thought.
to be a pass
Even
play,
on the
though.
opposite side of the sideline, they thought about it with Justin Fields. Justin Fields just slid early, but there are just certain guys in a super athletic league that just break the mold there, that are just so much more athletic. And Josh Allen's not just athletic, but big and strong. It's just such a huge weapon.
Also, in the Steelers game, that 2-point conversion, Tomlin called a timeout, so the Ravens had to they were in formation, the Steelers saw what they were going to run on that play, which was probably going to be Lamar Jackson running power into the end zone. But they called the timeout. The Ravens had to get a backup play in there, and that play, it looked like the wide receivers were confused where they were supposed to be running on that play, and the whole thing completely blew up, and the Steelers defense stopped them. So that was a really timely timeout from Tomlin, because if the Ravens tie it there, you're like, why are you wasting a timeout, dude? Like, you got the ball back, and now you're down a timeout, but it completely worked out for him, and it was a really smart choice.
I want to get to that game in a second, because the delight in that game was, they're just going to fight all game.
Yes.
These two teams are just going to physically fight all game, because Jay Glazer says that the only thing that approaches the Steeler culture of violence is the Ravens culture of violence. And so they're going to fight, and there's going to be a hatchet in there somewhere.
That's the AFC North, Dan. That's football.
I know, but you guys been telling me that Cincinnati can just slow start their way every season, and they've got an ability to fix all of that. And I'm like,
I'm off that.
Yeah.
No.
Now you're off it?
They're kickers.
Yeah.
I mean, what? McPherson has cost them so much this season, and they make a Super Bowl because of his greatness a couple of years ago.
So I want to analyze this part with Cote and with Billy as Dolphin fans, because I do not want to poo-poo yesterday's victory.
Oh,
No. I just want to ask you, since you got in with Derrick Henry fumbled recently, but they did not lose it, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but Tua, I believe, and this happened again yesterday, has fumbled something like 24 times the last couple of seasons, and they've only lost a third of them. So they don't show up. Josh Allen was reckless. When we were doing quarterback analysis at the top of this division, the thing that made Tua somebody who can knock off Josh Allen wasn't that he's better than Josh Allen. It's Josh Allen's a turnover machine. He's reckless with the football. He's going to have 5 turnover games that get Flacco benched all of a sudden.
To lend to Dan's point, Tua has fumbled the ball 11 times this year.
No, but I want the last 2 years, because what
17.
I want to. I think it's more than. I think it's a lot of fumbles, and he's only lost a third of them. And the reason that I bring it up is I ask you this: if it's lucky that he's only lost a third of them, if he'd lost 22 of 23, would the evaluation of Tua be totally different than it actually is, because fumbles count as much as interceptions, and there's a certain randomness to the fact that fumbles get recovered by your own team? He's got an alarming fumble problem.
He does. He has 8 lost fumbles for his career.
But
it's an interesting question you're asking here. Would we view Tua differently if more of those were recovered by the other team?
Of course we would.
And we probably would.
Right. It's also a question of like snaps. Like if they snap the ball over his head, is that a fumble on Tua? Like if they're bad snaps, are they fumbles that they're holding against him? Because we also are we're 5 minutes away from celebrating Derrick Henry never technically fumbling the ball, even though he's fumbled it 3 times. He's only lost 1.
This is one of those things that I deeply want Pro Football Focus to make easy to digest for the audience, because all those fumbles, especially at the quarterback position, need to be contextualized. I literally, because in college, this was the book on Cam Ward, that he averages like a fumble a game at Washington State. He does have smaller hands, and then you literally watch every single one of those fumbles, and you realize he has such bad pass protection. It's often a snap issue because he's trying to get a read and cheat on the defense to the very last second to get a read. So there's a lot of that, and I just wish it was all contextualized for the audience, because there's no way you can take inventory of this yourself.
I think yesterday's Dolphin game was a weird one, and we talked about it a little bit on God Bless Football, in that like the Dolphins offense that you're used to is like quick strikes and attacks and scoring. And yesterday they were really eating up a lot of clock. They had like 8-9 minute drives. They didn't punt the ball once yesterday. They scored every single time they had the ball, with the exception, I think, of the end of the first half and the end of the second half. So like they scored every single time they had the ball. It was just a different way of doing it. They were doing small passes here. John, who had a career day with 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards. Tyreek is finding like a new... It's not what you're used to Tyreek doing, where he goes and he hits like an 80-yard touchdown. He's running around in the middle, and they're using him a lot On third down, you know it's either going to go to Jonnu or it's going to go to Tyreek. Like 3rd and 3, it's going to go to Tyreek. He's going to get you 7 yards and he's just going to keep the thing moving. So, like, I don't know, I guess, why the takeaway that you have from yesterday is that Tua fumbles the ball a lot, because yesterday was a good Dolphin game, I think.
It was.
One of the great moments from yesterday was during that defensive breakdown of the Raiders where Jonnu Smith is wide open. Tyreek Hill is on the opposing sideline, and he's just, as the play is going on, just got his arms crossed at Antonio Pierce asking, how does that happen? Just a 6-second long troll job as this play is unfolding.
I talked about this on my own podcast that dropped this morning, and Billy's 100% right in terms of...
The Greg Cote Show, featuring Greg Cote.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It was entirely the antithesis of the way they won last year, which was the quick strike, the big play. All last season, the entire year, they had 3 series of at least 14 plays. Yesterday, they had 3 series of 14 plays in the first 3 possessions.
Raiders.
It was just, not just Raiders. It was an entirely different mindset for them. Tyreek Hill had 7 catches for 61 yards. That's the new pretty good game for Tyreek Hill.
All right, so you guys have seen what's happened. We've all been watching the same sport. The Kansas City Chiefs, when they had Kelsey and Tyreek Hill and had a cheap quarterback with value at quarterback, they'll get you deep. They'll get you short. We'll watch a couple of seasons of Mahomes. Oh, Mahomes, they're not going to keep letting you do it 80 yards one play. You're going to have to move it in until it's what it is now, which is totally constipated. Like Chiefs on 3rd and 5, maybe he'll run for 6 yards. Or he's going to throw it at Kelsey's knee. And it's all move it in because we can't get behind you. Of course that's going to happen to everybody. It'll happen to the Dolphins too. You're using up the Hill years. You've got an athlete who's more of an athlete in an athletic time in the sport than all of them, and on 3rd and 3, you can't cover him. So you're going to make him get 5-yard catches? Yeah, that's the way that it's going to happen on this time, and they're not going to punt. But the reason I brought up the fumble thing, though, is because we're talking about Justin Tucker and the margins for victory in that sport, where we all know the Ravens are good. They've been one of the best for the last 5 years. We all know that quarterback's good. We question whether that game's going to happen to them in the playoffs. It doesn't even matter what happens the rest of their season. We're just waiting around for, is that game going to happen to him in the playoffs?
It will.
But
always does.
But now Justin Tucker, and it may, but now it might be because Justin Tucker screwed it up because they wasted the Justin Tucker years. They didn't win anything in the Justin Tucker years.
The rare wasting of a kicker's best years.
When it comes to Lamar Jackson, unbelievable talent, multiple-time MVP winner, but people have those questions, and they're fair. He needs to do it in the playoffs, but it's not just the playoffs. Nick Wright points out, as long as he's not playing the Chiefs, the dynasty of his era, the Steelers, his team's hated rival, or in the playoffs, Lamar is as good as any quarterback ever. Unfortunately, in those spots, he's got a 4-12 record, a 75 quarterback rating, more turnovers than touchdowns. He's simply bad against those teams.
And the Steelers have won 8 of 9 against the MVP of the league. So I want to talk about that game in a second. But when I'm mentioning the Tua thing, the only reason I'm bringing it up, Billy, is because I'm wondering if we're doing some randomness. The rest of this season with the Dolphins is going to have very little margin for error. They kind of got to win all the games or lose 1 or 2 here.
Yes.
And if 1 or 2 of those gets lost, like yesterday when it's still close because of a fumble that gets lost, what I'm asking you, if the margins are so small in that sport, because you just handed me a piece of paper that says that Tua has 33 fumbles in his career, 8 have been lost. I don't know if this is accurate. He's got 24 fumbles in the last 36 games, and I'm simply asking you because of the number of times. I don't see it talked about at all. And you're right, Billy. It's not the thing to talk about today. It's the negative in a time that would be more positive because they got a 2-game winning streak and their quarterback looks right and their offense looks right enough.
And they have the Patriots coming in this weekend.
Right.
But I am simply asking the question because it seems like you would grant me that just if he had lost all 33 of the fumbles, that too would be unlucky, but neither one of them is like, we can agree that he's been lucky with fumbles and they've been lucky with fumbles, correct?
Fumble luck is something that is calculated, and for teams that have like a negative percentage of fumble recoveries, it's expected that will go back toward closer to 50% the following season because, like, yeah, the ball's shaped stupid and it bounces weird.
Random. Totally random. The fumble discussion is different with quarterbacks, and it's especially different with Tua. I'm not excusing his proneness to fumbling, but I am saying with that concussion problem, when Max Crosby's about to tackle him in the pocket, his priority is protect my head, and maybe protecting the ball comes second. Maybe you should do both at the same time, but if you have to pick, maybe you protect your head first.
Have you guys thought of this? I've thought of two of the scariest places in football to be. One of them is after I fumble. That seems, after I fumbled, seems whatever's coming next seems like a kind of panic that I'm not going to have anywhere else in my life.
Is the other one Provo after midnight?
It is not.
It wasn't so hard for Kansas.
No, but strange thing. You got to get them before after midnight.
No, strange things happen.
Yeah,
in
strange
Provo.
things happen after midnight. Yes.
That's the distinction you're making.
I thought you were going to say Jacksonville.
Yeah.
That's the scariest place in the NFL.
We will get to college football in a second. The second scariest place to me, I just think, I don't know, well, there are three of them actually. Catching a punt seems like it would be horrifying if you're not fair catching. But the bottom of a fumble pile seems really awful. Like if I'm Tua and I'm fumbling that much, I don't want him at the bottom of what's ever happening down there. It's like it feels to me like putting a baby from a crib in
Right.
I don't like.
There's no need for it.
I don't like the way that I am viewing Tua games.
Oh, there was a play yesterday. The play where he threw the 8-yard TD pass to Tyreek Hill, where he rolls out to his left.
I was terrified.
There was a split second when the crowd thought he might run.
Yes.
There was a gasp from the crowd.
He
A
thought he
gasp.
might run.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's just amazing how there's an exhale of relief when the ball leaves his hands.
What was the baby in the crib?
Yeah,
thing
where's
again?
the baby
We're
going?
trying to follow.
Into the fumble pile?
I view in the middle of a fumble pile, I've got a baby.
Right. Two is the baby.
Yes,
Yeah.
a baby
Where's the
with
baby?
a
The ball.
thank you.
Wait, I thought the baby was a ball.
Bua.
No.
Okay.
Dan's baby.
Walk me through this.
Okay, in the middle of the fumble pile. If you guys are in agreement with me that these are the three worst feelings to feel in football,
For a baby?
We
Or
haven't hurt them yet.
For the baby especially.
Yes.
Babies don't understand. Babies are actually surprisingly not scared of a lot of things,
Yeah.
but then scared of the dumbest things.
Yeah, well, babies are dumb. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Yeah, they're
Right.
stupid. Are you fumbling the baby while wearing the suede jacket? Because I would think that you're less concerned about protecting the baby than wondering about the jacket being ripped or something like that. It's brand new.
Or stained.
Yeah, or stained, or grass stains.
Grass stains are hard to get out.
Did they come out of suede?
Where is the jacket from? I'd like to Google its approximate value.
Does turf stain like grass?
It's Tua the baby.
At Le Batard Show, put it on the poll, please. I've lost my train of thought because I'm being attacked for
You're holding a baby.
You were
my
taking a
intention.
baby, putting a baby
Yes.
into a compromising position.
The reason why I'm asking
For no
is
reason.
it made
I
it seem
know
that
what
you're
I-
just throwing babies in cribs, and that's historically not how you do it.
Cruelty to babies.
Put it on the poll
Lock
at Le
'em in.
Batard Show.
And cribs.
Are
It's a big baby.
babies stupid at Le Batard Show?
They are. I mean, no fault of their own.
Right, yeah.
What I was saying, it's always great when all of you rise up on attack. That's always a lot of fun.
Right. The baby, though.
Yeah, I'm getting there, Stugotz. I know. I'm getting there. You've already pushed me into this
Sorry.
corner. I'm
I
already
did it.
here.
I'm
I'm
trying to
here
help
with
you.
you guys. No,
Don't put baby in a corner.
Does the baby wear a helmet at least?
the fumble pile is a terrible place to be. Returning a punt is a terrible place to be. The moment of panic after you fumbled, especially on a punt return, when all of those torpedoes are coming down the field to spike you. Horrifying.
Yes, because your reaction is to get what it is you dropped.
That's correct.
Of
but
course.
everyone else's reaction, too, is the problem.
He dropped it.
You don't know where they're coming from. It seems like a place where limbs and things can be fractured. It seems. Because that you realize the football is at the middle of what feels like a piranha pit, right? Like everyone is coming at 100 miles an hour, all of them strong and heavy, and you're panicked because everyone in the stadium in America and internationally knows this is your fault. So that moment seems like it's truly horrifying. Tua, in the middle of it, if he's got to recover 33 fumbles in his career, would feel to me like a baby in a crib in the middle of the fumble pile. Something bad is going to happen to the baby.
Huh.
The baby cannot defend itself.
So the baby's in the crib in the middle of all this surrounding mayhem?
In the crib. Yeah.
As he would look in the crib.
Ah, okay.
Weird analogy, Dick Tracy.
Took a long time to get there.
Well, you guys got stuck on the baby portion.
Well,
of
we
it.
actually got stuck
We didn't
Googling your
understand it.
jacket.
Yeah, we found it.
I got stuck on people are coming at 1,000 miles an hour.
Pricey.
Torpedoes.
What's the third thing? It's the fumble pile, it's the fair catch, and it's the what?
It's just the
Jacksonville.
moment that you have fumbled.
Provo.
The very moment that you have fumbled. It seems like a terrifying place to live. Does it not?
Yes, it does.
I believe we underestimate this stuff because of the comfort of our living rooms. I believe that you guys don't spend a lot of time thinking about these horrors.
Well, you're saying living as a person who drops things on the regular that are valuable. Yes, that is an awful place to live. I am totally with you. I never thought about it that way.
But it's not just that. It's not that you're dropping something that's valuable. It's in that moment as you've dropped it, everyone who's watching, and there are many millions of people watching, no, you suck at your job. This is your fault. Everything that's happening on the field is like, it's rarely that obvious. It's one person and it's their fault. Somebody gets blindsided, hit from the side. You've just dropped the football. You've dropped the punt. And now what's coming at you is 9 people, 10 people. The long snapper's in there too. The only one who's not coming is the punter. It seems awful. Does it not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's going to argue that it's not awful to fumble?
Right.
Is there a promo code on this jacket?
Get it on sale or something? Good God, man.
Woo! I don't know how you guys know where this is from.
The internet.
The internet knows everything. I do that with bottles of wine.
Yeah.
If somebody
Really?
gives me a bottle of wine, the first thing I do is look up the
Really?
price. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and then judge the giver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What
have
do you judge as like, this was a nice bottle, like $40 plus, or are you more expensive than
It
that?
depends on the occasion.
Or who's giving, right?
If it's a special occasion, that wants to be a 3-figure wine.
What?
That wants to be a Camus or something.
Yeah. Special
but
occasion.
if
Like
it's
$60 is fine.
If it's not a special occasion, it can be 40 or 60.
It depends who the gift giver is, too. Like, what if someone who
True.
doesn't,
No, you're right.
Well, it's not someone that spends this much money on a jacket. Like if Dan's spending this on a jacket, then the bottle of wine must resemble that.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. But he's not buying the jacket either. He married well, that guy.
It's a 5th anniversary gift.
Yeah.
It's a gift for a 5th anniversary.
Okay.
What are you supposed to buy someone like me on a gift for a 5th anniversary?
Gift certificate to Home Depot.
Yeah. Oh, I love a gift certificate to Home
Yeah,
Depot.
I do too.
I miss certificates.
I do too.
Let you choose.
Oh, I love
the
them.
paper.
The paper
Not the
certificate.
plastic.
Oh,
Yes.
my
thank
God.
you.
Buy what you want.
That's really when things took a downturn.
They
Put
did.
it on the poll, please, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Do you miss certificates?
Season's greetings, podcast audience. It's Mike Ryan, and now is that time of year where you start hosting your family gatherings, be it Thanksgiving, be it the upcoming holiday season. You're going to have some folks in town. You're going to be doing some entertaining. So why don't you make your family time a Miller time? It's the first thing that I roll out when I got guests over at the house, an ice-cold bucket filled with that beautiful white can. See, Miller time makes family time all the more special because, for one thing, it's got taste that you can depend on. No games, no gimmicks, just a great beer for people who like beer. Miller Lite is brewed for taste. It hits different than other light beers. It's got simple ingredients like malted barley for rich, balanced toffee note flavors and an iconic golden color. And at just 96 calories and 3.2 grams of carbs per 12 ounces, Miller Time is always a good time, even during the festive times. Making memories at year-end gatherings tastes like Miller Time. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer. Hey podcasters, it's Mike Ryan, and let me tell you something, the NBA's got a lot going for it right now. Bright young stars hitting the court, teams playing exciting brands of basketball, and celebrities everywhere you look courtside. It's no wonder why tickets are in demand. Let me tell you about my favorite on the secondary ticket marketplace, and that is Game Time, and their amazing new feature called Game Time Picks. It makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. With Game Time Picks, it helps make curation easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and whatever else tickles your fancy. Also, they've got all-in pricing. This feature is huge. Push of a button, you get no surprises at checkout, you know exactly what to budget for, you get panoramic seat views, and of course, Game Time's lowest price guarantee, where Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference if you find a better price out there. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Dan for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time.